Hey everybody, it's Steve, Short Shift Garage again. So in this video, we are going to discuss timing. Finally going to get into timing. We talked about it a little bit in the last video, but not too much. But today we're actually going to get into timing. And I'm just going to jump right over there and we'll start talking about it. So let's jump on the desktop. And the first thing we're going to look at is our total spark correction. This is an interesting table because you see we have spark correction, and this can be coming from several different areas. If we look at, get further down the line here, we have MBT advance, which is 34 degrees. And then we have our timing advance, which is 30. Our actual spark is 30.5. And our base part throttle advance is 31.5. We took out 1 degree for spark correction. And did I have the baro advance? Took out 1 degree. So these are all the accumulation of all the different types of things that can go on with your engine, depending on what your altitude, what your environment is, basically. A high IAT will take out advance. So let's see, do I have IAT here? Yeah, IAT is not taking out anything right now. I think we actually did get some IAT in there somewhere, but for now, yeah, I mean, it can pop up anywhere. But so because you can see the total spark correction is changing throughout the this particular log file. This is going to be, again, this is all averaged. You can look at the max and the mins, and then when you look at the average, that's averaged over time. So you can't really go out there and say and look at a log and say, look at your timing table and say, oh, I was in this timing table and this and this and this, and that was going on, add it all together and come up with it. Not if you're averaging anyway. You might be able to do it if you can locate a single cell, a single change, like one of these ones down here. You could maybe do that and get on it. But, this is just to give you an idea where you're at. I've got total knock retard here. And that's total knock retard. It's not long term. It's not short. It is short term, excuse me. But so I've got total knock retard of these amounts here. They're on the upper end of the spectrum. So it's in the wide open throttle range. We know that. And we can tell that because of our air charge. Our air charge is pretty good. So we know that's in the wide open throttle area. It is taken care of at this point, so I'm not going to, other than knowing it's there, we may correct for it, and we may do something else that'll correct for it. And I'll show you what that is. So let's just say this is a good place to look at things, but as far as it being a good place to reference stuff, I'm going to say no. Just give you an idea of where your spark is. So let's jump over to our editor, and we're going to look at just our general. So this is all flex fuel stuff here, and then this here is ESS, which is what is it? I can't remember what the heck it is, but it's the flare gas for ESS is basically start time stuff, everything during startup. You have cold startup, and then here we are, we're at normal operating temperature, and we have our base and our high octane. Now, if you have a 2014 and earlier model, you won't have the high octane table. That didn't come along until, I believe, 2015, but I've said before, I can't confirm it until 2017 because they just don't have a 2015 file. So at 2017 and above definitely have the high octane. So let's talk about this little high octane thing here. If you're thinking of buying a like a Diablo Intune or a Trinity 2, they're great tuners. They really are. You can't tune with them yourself. You'll have to have a tuner do it for you because they buy the software, which is CMR, and once they own that software, then they can tune with it. They pay fees and everything else, so you're going to get those fees passed on to you. But you'll have to hire a tuner if you're going to use a Diablo product. Excuse me. So just remember that. But if you have a 2014 Plus and you want to put a 91 octane tune in it real quick, hey, they work. You can use it. Excuse me. You can use their canned tune, and it actually does pretty good. It's basically the same as this. But if you've got a 2015, 20 to 2023, don't waste your money on it because you already have it. Okay, you've already got that 91 octane tune. Now, if you have 93 octane fuel available to you, and you want to save all this hassle, then yeah, you can use their 93 octane tune. But don't put your 93 octane tune in it and then forget and put 91 because you're going to be knocking like crazy, and you don't have any fallback. With this system here, with the high octane, we're always in high octane mode. Unless, of course, you put lower octane, you get knocked, and it'll throw you back to the base tune, which is your safety net. Okay, so high octane is what you're going to be running in all the time. And for that reason, I do not recommend that you change your base timing. So this is our base timing. I recommend you leave this as it is. And if you get kicked off out of your high octane because of knock retard and you're into your base, then fix your high octane table, because that's where the problem is. The base is going to be your safeguard, and it'll keep you out of trouble. You get knocked, it'll throw you back to the base. The knock goes away, you continue driving. Half the time you won't even notice it. But so let's go ahead and fix this up. Let's look at what we got here. So as you can see, we have some pretty crazy negative timing in here. All right, it's not horrible. It's not as bad as the wide open throttle table, but we don't take it out of the wide open throttle. There's a reason for that. But we can fix it. We can take it out of the high octane table. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come down here like this, and I'm going to equals 0, and boom. I could have done that all in one fell swoop if it had lined up, wouldn't it? And equals 0, but it doesn't. It doesn't line up. Never ever ends up in our favor, does it? So you have to do this little nitpicky stuff here. And then it gets real nitpicky. And get rid of that one, get rid of that one. And then we got one here, here, and here. And then we got one over here, and we got one over here. All right. So now all those are gone, and we're going to do something that's kind of cool. We're going to add a half a degree to everything. So we're just going to put an extra half a degree in here. So what I'm going to change this to is 0.5. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to select everything in the table. And I'm going to say plus. And that will add a half a degree to everything. So now we have a half a degree. And you can see there was zeros down here, went to a half. Everything got an extra half a degree. So the next thing we're going to do is this thing here it's pretty jumpy. So yeah, it's not really as smooth as it should be. I always prefer to see it a lot smoother than this, although it's still not going to be perfect after a smoothing, but it'll be much better. And we're just going to smooth this out. And now we come down here, you see those changes, we took them out. See how nice and smooth that is across? Looks really good. So that's a nice, relatively smooth table. We could, in fact, come over here, we could have done, we could have interpolated this area where we made these changes. I would probably come to right about, maybe we could do here and say, do a vertical, and that would give us pretty nice. I mean, that works too. And then we could come through and smooth the table now and look at it. But we had some pretty radical changes. I really don't like that as much this way. So I'm going to take that out and I'm going to just back it off to where we were before we smooth it. And then I'll smooth it. And there we go. So this I like better. It's a little bit, it's more, as I'm just looking at the numbers, I'm going, yeah, that'll work. Because what we got to do is you got to remember that when you're in high octane mode, you know, as you're accelerating, yeah, you move down this way a little bit, and then you start coming like this. You start getting up to your higher RPMs, and your air charges increases. So it's going to be a kind of a weird curve like this. If we go back and look at you see how this all kind of works in this area here? And we don't get into this area until we get to our upper RPMs. That's normal. That's exactly how it should be. You can look at the spark table here. It's going to be the same representation. So you can see how that is all up in here. And there's nothing down in here. Okay, and probably never will be. And I've got wide open throttle pulls in this. So we go back and look at this, and we know this is going to be just fine. So we're going to go ahead and leave that as it is, and we're leaving our base alone. Now, there are definitely more changes to be made. Once we get our part throttle done, we're going to want to come over and we're going to want to look at our high output, a high octane wide open throttle. Now you got to remember, 1 knock retard and you're going back to base. So we did have this area right over in here. We got our short-term knock retard. And actually we're going to put our total knock retard in there. We have these areas here, and we could copy that data and we could correct it. But if you look at what it is, it's so small. I would prefer to go ahead and not change it here yet. And I want this to stay. And the reason this is in here, why are these negatives in here? Okay, so think about the torque model and what happens if I let off the throttle, just boom, I'm completely off it because there's an accident in front of me and I have to slam my brakes on. If I have a bunch of timing in there, it's going to continue throwing it and you're going to beat the shit out of your engine, okay? It will just absolutely beat the crap out of it. So that's why this stuff is in here. People don't understand what it's for, but that's exactly what it's for, because you're going to go into deceleration fuel cutoff. You've got to get that timing out of there because there's going to be vapors in there, and if the timing is still there, it's going to ignite. And if it ignites because it's a much thinner, leaner mixture, you're going to get knock and possibly damage your engine. So wide open throttle is, I mean, you're coming from here and going to here, and it's just like you're here and then all of a sudden you're here, boom. And it's not like you go nice and smooth back. It's just a boom, slam, boom. Okay. And your tach just drops. You slam those brakes on, your tach's going to drop because your torque converter is still locked up. It hasn't had a chance to unlock yet. All that stuff is really, it can be 100% totally damaging to your engine. So leave these in. Do not take them out. It's one thing to do it on the part throttle, but I don't recommend you do it on the high octane. Some people do it, and and then they say they don't have any problem. They take it out, but I kind of am hesitant to tell you to do that. If you choose to do it on somebody else's advice, then that's on you. But if I tell you to go ahead and do it and it wrecks your engine, it's going to be on me, and I'm not taking that responsibility. I would feel terrible, even if I don't know you. All right, so we're going to leave for this. It's just kind of like what we did with the VE tables, is we kind of left that wide open throttle area alone. We didn't really touch it. We left it be, because there's no point in messing with it when it's already right. Okay, so if we do come along later and see that we're not getting any knock anymore, and maybe our fuel trim says, hey, you're kind of running rich, we pull some of the fuel out and we still don't knock, that's a good indication that we can probably add some more timing in. But that's all trial and error stuff. So that is the more, like I said, trial and error. So for this time, we're gonna just do the high octane part throttle table, because it's the one you're going to be driving around on most. You will transition. There will be some transition here where you get up into these ranges here, but you'll be fine. Trust me. So that's it. I mean, that'll get your high octane part throttle timing table pretty much dialed in. Now, if you happen to notice you are getting knock, and you want to fix it, here's a quick little trick. So let's just say you're at sea level. I'm here at 85. This is my barometric pressure table, and whatever my barometer is, this is going to take this timing out on this schedule here, no matter what. Okay, it's just going to take it out of everything. It doesn't just take it out of one spot. It takes it out of everything. So if I come along and I say, I don't want to rework that whole table, and I'm at sea level, why don't I just do this? I'm going to add a degree of timing back in. So I'll just go 0.5, and we'll add it. And now I just added half a degree of timing back in across the board to all my timing tables. Okay, it doesn't matter what timing table you're in, it's going to add that half a degree back in. Or say I want to take out a half a degree. Say I've got too much timing in, and I just go negative 0.5, and I would add that across the board. And now I've just took a half a degree out of all my timing tables. So you can add a half a degree across the board, or take a half a degree across the board. You can't do anything other than a half a degree at a time. So if you wanted to try to do 0.25 degrees, it doesn't work. It's a half a degree at a time. But it's a cute little trick. I know a lot of guys come in and they'll zero out this table completely, but you don't want to really do that because unless you're tuning for your barometric pressure average, if that's what you're going to change all your tables to, then take whatever this is here, transfer it over into and you do it to the whole table. You just kind of, what I would do is I'd say I'm at 87, so I would average these and I would punch them into the entire table. But that's kind of tedious. So why not just do it here? Okay, you could just do it right here. And that's a cool little trick. So I'll put mine back to normal. This is sea level right in here. And you see it takes out a half a degree at 105. And your sea level is about 101.3 on the average, something like that. So, I mean, you're pretty safe to just say you don't have any barometric pressure timing modifications going on because this car was set up for sea level. All of them are. They're set up for sea level, and so the higher the elevation, the more retard you're going to be. So and the lower the pressure. So I mean, this has got to be what, Mount Everest or something. I don't know, but yeah, that would be probably 10 or 15,000 feet. Yeah, you could drive your car up there, I guess. So I wouldn't take it to Nepal right now. That would not be a good idea. But so there's basically the way the barometric table scales. So that's a cute little trick. It's pretty easy. You could do that instead of adding the 5 degrees that we added. But I like to do it once there and then smooth, because if I need to take it back out again, I can just do it right here. Okay. Alrighty, so let's get back. So you see, that was pretty painless. You all thought it was going to be tough. It's a little tougher, not too bad, but when you start, once you put your cam in, you've got some differences that you want to play with there. There probably be, you can find some documentation on your camshaft, maybe get some timing recommendations for it. That'll help you out a little bit. I can't give them to you because I don't know what cam you might want to buy. But, if you're having problems and you can't get your cam set up right, but it's installed correctly, and I've run across one that recently where a gentleman had a cam, headers, and had his differential changed. So he spent a substantial amount of money with a mechanic, and I really feel sorry for the guy in one sense, but he doesn't listen to anybody. So, that sense, I don't feel sorry for him. But he spent all his money, and his car won't run right. I mean, it's just not right. He took it out and he turned 14s with it, and I went, huh? 5.7 turning 14s. Hell, I turned 13.8 and mine stock. So I go, what? But anyway, I have doubts. He had cam springs installed. If they put lash caps on it, he doesn't know if they changed the push rods. There's just all these questions, and we don't know how the work was done or whether the work was done properly. It's supposed to be a 4-degree phaser lockout, so it takes 4 degrees out of the cam phaser. I don't know if that's been installed, but the cam he's got is it's one of the Brian Tooley Racing Truck Norris cams, and it's a great cam, and everybody I know tunes them no problem at all. But his tuner says, I couldn't make it idle, I couldn't get it to do this, I couldn't get it to do that, I did the best I could. You're going to have to hire another tuner. And I was shocked. It's not, the guy told him he could install the cam, make the car run and tune it, and then he says he can't tune it. It's not on the gentleman that's having the work done, it's on the guy that's doing the work to hire somebody else to tune it. So those are the kind of things when you're getting this work done, make sure that you hire somebody that knows what they're doing. And do not buy a camshaft, I don't care what brand it is, don't buy something off of eBay unless it's actually from the manufacturer's eBay site. And then it's even sketchy because a lot of times they're just trying to clear shelves off. And they don't check every box to make sure everything's in. If you buy directly from Brian Tooley Racing, you got to pay maybe a couple of bucks more. But when you open up that box, if everything's not in it, you can call them and they'll send it to you. So I don't know, maybe this guy, when he bought the can, I don't know who he got it from. If he didn't get it from Brian Tooley Racing, then we don't know if it's missing parts. So I won't touch it. I won't get near it. And he hasn't really asked me. He knows how I feel about it. He's going to a gentleman, Mario, down in Las Vegas. He's got a tuning shop down there, and Mario's going to help him out. But I would not be surprised if Mario says, hey, your car's broke. So anyway, be careful. I know this is supposed to be about timing. It wasn't storytelling, but you got a story anyway. So, hey, it is what it is. Okay, folks, you all take care. You have a good one. Like and subscribe and share. Bye.